Finding our comfortable seated position. Whew. Making sure, yes, you have plenty of water if you are in a hot place. The weather's been incredible. Love it. Love it, love it. When we have found our seated position, finding our nice tall spine. Hi, Rachel. Reaching up with the crown of the head. So just kind of settling in, relaxing down, grounding down, but at the same time kind of feeling a little bit of energy, a little bit of engagement, especially around the core area, helping you to sit up nice and tall. You can maybe close down the eyes. Once we're there, we'll be here for a few minutes. Just letting your hands rest on your knees, on your thighs, in your lap, even by your side, wherever is good for you. So today we will be focusing kind of more around the shoulder area. So kind of opening up the chest, getting the movement, mobility in our shoulders, strengthening the back of the shoulders, finding a bit of space there if we can. It's a common problem area for many people are the shoulders and the kind of neck area. We hold a lot of tension there. And just with the nature of modern day life, we spend kind of quite a lot of time hunched over or reaching forward on phones, driving, typing, you name it. So yes, really focusing today on getting that mobility in the shoulders. We always kind of aim to have the shoulders back and down. I'm always in a constant struggle with my shoulders. They always kind of creep their way forward. So really kind of focusing on trying to keep the shoulders back and down, and we'll build up some strength in the back to make that slightly easier. So on that note, just melting the shoulders back and down, if you haven't done so already. And let's take some nice deep breaths. So finding a full long inhale and your full long exhales. Breathing through the nose or through the mouth, it really doesn't matter. I tend to breathe through my nose more. Just finding your full inhales, full exhales. Taking a few rounds, just seeing if you can maybe breathe a little bit deeper, a little bit longer each round, really exercising the lungs, finding their full capacity. And then just letting your breath return to normal when you are ready. Just checking you haven't lost that length through the spine, so still sitting up nice and tall. Relaxing around the hips, around the shoulders, the neck. Just bringing your focus to your body, just noticing how you're feeling, how your body is today. Noticing your energy levels. When it's hot weather, our energy tends to maybe not be quite so bouncy as we could be. Or maybe you're feeling full of energy today. Just noticing and accepting. Maybe bringing a little smile to the lips. Softening the forehead, softening the temples. Good. Okay, let's take our next stretch. So just dropping one ear down to the shoulder. Just easing out that side of the neck. And then slowly semi-circling down and round. Stretching out the other side. Just taking it in your own time, as always. Pausing in a little stretch if you need to. But trying to keep that length through the spine, so watch we're not kind of dipping forward as we roll the head forward, just get the movement in the neck. Okay, bringing the head back to center, taking our shoulder rolls, just slowly starting to work into the shoulders, taking some circles both ways. And then just letting the shoulders melt back and down. Taking a side stretch, so placing one hand on the floor just in line with your hip. Reaching up and over with your other hand. Gently opening up the side body. Maybe down into the hip. And then up and over the other side. Reaching up to the center with both hands, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. And then let's come all the way down, stretching out to the sides, all the way down behind you, clasping the hands behind you. Maybe straightening out the arms, just starting to open up the chest. Breathing here. Then releasing the grip on your hands, bringing your arms out wide again, and then folding, giving yourself a hug. Nice big inhale, opening up the arms wide, and then folding in, bringing the other arm on top this time. Opening the arms out wide, leaving your arms extended. Let's turn the palms up to face the ceiling. And then turning the palms all the way around so your thumbs are pointing down towards the floor, and maybe even so your palms are facing up towards the ceiling the other way. So find a bit of a curve in the spine here. And then again, let's open up. So turning our palms back to face the ceiling, thumbs pointing behind us, and then kind of curving round. So getting the full shoulder rotation here. And again, opening up and curving round. Good. Okay, dropping the arms by the side. We'll do that all one more time. So coming into our side stretch. Really reaching up and over with those top fingers and watching your arms coming in front of you. Let's open up the chest almost up towards the ceiling. So pulling that right shoulder, or whichever shoulder you have on top, pulling that shoulder back. Over to the other side. Back up to center, reaching up with both hands. Stretching the arms out, squeezing the shoulder blades together, clasping our hands behind us, maybe clasping the other way, so the other thumb is on top. And then kind of trying to straighten the arms if we can. No worries if not, just having that intention, so squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening up the chest. And breathing, remembering to breathe. Releasing the hands, folding in, giving ourselves a hug. Nice big inhale as we reach out, opening up, and exhaling, folding in. Inhaling out, leaving the arms extended, and then coming into our rotation. So thumbs pointing back, palms up first, and then coming all the way down and over. Then coming back up and open, down and over. And back up and open. Nice big inhale here and relaxing the arms down. Good. Giving the shoulders a little shake if we need. And making our way onto all fours when we are ready. Nice wide fingers when we are there. Spreading out the fingers all the way from pinky all the way to thumb. Hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And let's take our cat-cows as we inhale, look forward. As we exhale, curving up the other way. You guys all know what you're doing by now. So just really trying to follow the breath with the movement as much as you can. So one breath per movement. Inhaling as we kind of open up the chest area, looking forward, and then exhaling as we close the chest area, pushing the spine up towards the ceiling. As always, pausing anywhere you need to if you feel like you need a little bit of an extra stretch. Excuse me, or if you need to take some other little movements, side to side movements, if you need to move into your hips more, bending into the elbows more. Remember, this is your practice. I am just here to guide you. So if you need to do any little extras or have a rest at any point, please do so. Okay, finishing off our rounds of cat-cow, coming into our neutral spine. So flattening the back, lengthening the tailbone away from you, so finding a bit of strength in that lower back. We'll reach the left hand forward up to the top corner of our mat, and then sweeping that arm back down and round. Let's take our big kind of sweeps with our hand. Inhaling to come up, exhaling down. Taking the movement even slower if you need to. Just really noticing that shoulder, noticing the arm, how it's all feeling. If there's any crunching, any tightness, just slowly working into it. And next time the left hand reaches up towards the ceiling, let's pause there. We're going to pivot on the right knee, bring the left foot out to the end of the mat. Flatten that left foot so it's parallel with the back edge of the mat. And then let's push these hips forward so our body's all in a line. And then we can reach the left arm up and overhead. So kind of aiming to find a little bit of a straight line all the way from the left foot up to the left fingertips. Full body stretch. Breathing here. And then let's bring our knees back round to center. We're going to leave the left arm kind of up at shoulder height. So finding our way back to our tabletop position. Keeping our left fingertips pointing out in front of us, palm facing down. And we're going to bring that left arm out to the side and then back out in front. So trying to keep the back stable here, the back's nice and firm. Just moving that left arm kind of like a windscreen wiper to the side and to the front, trying to keep it at shoulder height all the way. So you might start feeling this in the back of your shoulder, top of your shoulder, anywhere in your shoulder. Good. Okay, bringing that arm back down to the mat. Right hand side, reaching the right fingertips forward. Stretching forward and then sweeping back up and round. Inhaling to come up, exhaling to come down. But as always, don't worry too much about the breath, just remembering to breathe and trying to keep it as steady as you can. Really reaching out with those right fingertips, extending through the arm. And then next time the hand reaches up to the ceiling, pausing there, finding our full body stretch. So just pivoting on that left knee, bringing the right foot all the way to the end of the mat, pulling the hips forward so our body's all in line, and then bringing that right arm up and overhead. Watching that shoulder's not creeping up to the ear, keeping that shoulder back and down, but extending out through the hand. Breathing. Okay, let's bring ourselves back to tabletop, leaving this hand up. Just making sure our knees are under our hips. Pushing down through that left hand, so nice and strong, through the arm, through the shoulder, through the core. And then let's take our kind of windscreen wiper movements with our right hand. So the palm is facing down. And we're literally just moving the arm 90 degrees, working into that shoulder. Whew. Okay, bringing the hand back down to the mat. Bringing our knees wide, feet together, we'll take a rest in child's pose. So sinking the hips back and down, walking the hands forward and letting the head come down to the mat. Always using a little support for your head if it doesn't quite reach, that's always fine, and it can provide a little bit of relief on the neck. And just making sure our shoulders can fully relax down. So if that means taking a bit of a bend in the arms, then please do so. Just fully releasing all the muscles around the shoulders. And child's pose is a great place to really pay attention to your breath, because you're kind of enclosed in your own little bubble. You can really hear your own breath. So focusing on that, slowing it down. And the sound of the breath can be really calming as well. So maybe using that sound to calm down the mind. Okay, when we're ready, bringing ourselves back up to all fours. Knees come underneath the hips. And this time we're going to walk our hands forward. So we're going to come into our puppy pose, also known as melting heart pose. We want our hips to try and stay above our knees if we can. And then just melting the heart down towards the mat. So you can kind of creep your fingers a little bit further forward as you come down. And it really doesn't matter how far you come. Just providing a bit of openness through the armpits, the chest. Kind of feeling at the back of the shoulders as well, probably. Breathing here. It's quite an intense pose, this, so making sure you're breathing, letting go of any tension where you don't need it. You can rest the chin or the head down on the mat if it's there, or you can bring a block for your head. Good. Okay, slowly starting to wiggle the hands back towards you, coming back up to our all fours position. Stretching one leg out, tucking the toe under, then stretching the other leg out. Let's bring ourselves into our full plank. So stretching out the back of the legs, strong through the arms, strong through the shoulders. Holding here, breathing here. Then lowering down to the mat, always bringing the knees first if you need, squeezing the elbows in. So we are lying on our front, bringing our hands underneath our shoulders. Let's point our toes, kind of pull our feet away from us so we have that space in the front of the hips. And as we inhale, coming into our cobra. So peeling the chest off the floor, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Keeping the legs firm, so the tops of the feet pressing into the mat. And then let's see if we can hover the hands off the floor. So really working the back muscles here. Good, okay, releasing down, just letting the head come down, resting on your cheek maybe. And then let's bring the arms into our cactus position. So elbows in line with the shoulders, fingertips pointing forward. And same again, we're just going to peel the chest up off the floor, but this time bringing our hands with us, bringing our arms with us, strong through the legs, pressing down with the tops of the feet. Breathing. And releasing down, maybe turning the head to the other side, having a little rest. Okay, last time. We're going to peel our chest up, keeping our hands in cactus, strong through the legs, and then we're going to reach our arms out beside us, so fingertips pointing kind of outstretched. And then slowly moving the hands, they're pointing back, so back away from us down towards the toes. So feel like someone's pulling your hands behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades together, strong through the back, And keeping those feet pressing into the floor. Okay, and release. Maybe giving your hips a little wiggle. Taking any movements you need. Then we will make our way up to our downward dog. So bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, we can tuck the toes under and we can come up either through all fours, or we can push our way up through half plank, through plank, and lifting the hips back up into our down dog. So just paddling out the legs when we get there. Just bending into one knee, then the other. Trying to keep our arms strong and straight. And just take a look at your hands. Can we stretch out the fingers anymore? Really pressing down with all the fingers and the thumb into the mat, so your whole hand is being used. Hips up nice and high. Relaxing the head, maybe giving the head a little shake from side to side. And breathing. Taking a look forward, let's walk or step our way up to the front of the mat, coming into our ragdoll. So feet hip distance apart, holding on to opposite elbows, or we can just let our hands drop to the floor, completely up to you. Taking a little sway from side to side. So we really want to bend into the knees here, so our kind of torso is almost resting on our thighs. And letting the head hang heavy. Okay. Taking a nice big inhale, let's uncurl our way all the way up to standing. Reaching up to the sky when we get there. And exhale, bringing the hands down behind us, clasping the hands behind us. Squeezing the arms together, maybe squeezing the heels of the hands together, opening up the chest. Releasing the grip, bringing the arms outstretched to the side. Coming in for our hug, so curving into the spine. Inhaling, maybe taking a look up to the sky, slight back bend. And exhaling, curving into the spine the other way. And again, inhaling, this time just reaching the hands out to the side, coming into our kind of rotations again. So palms facing up towards the ceiling, thumbs behind us, and you can come into a little bit of a back bend here. And then let's turn the palms, turn the hands all the way to face the other way, kind of curving into the top of the back. And again, opening up. And kind of folding in. Opening up. This time let's reach up, let's come onto our tiptoes, inhaling all the way up. And exhaling, lowering the heels down, folding from the hips all the way down into our forward fold. Head hangs heavy. Maybe straightening the legs a little on this one. Finding that stretch in the back of the hamstrings. But wherever we are, letting the head be heavy, letting the shoulders relax. Okay, all of that one more time. Let's take an inhale, uncurling all the way up to standing. Reaching up to the sky, we can come up onto the tiptoes again. And exhaling down, hands coming all the way down behind us, maybe clasping the other way this time. Working on straightening the arms, pulling the heels of the hands towards each other, opening up the chest. Breathing. And then releasing, bringing the arms out wide, folding in, giving ourselves a hug. Opening up and folding. Opening up, coming into our rotation, so palms facing up towards the ceiling, folding forward, well, not quite folding forward, mini fold forward, and then opening up to the sky again. Top of the back curls. Opening up to the sky, reaching up, coming up onto our tiptoes and all the way down. Hands come to the mat. Let's take an inhale into our halfway lift, flattening the back, reaching forward to the crown of the head. Hands come to the mat, stepping back with our left foot, lowering the back knee down, coming into our low lunge. So just checking our front knee is over our front ankle, powering down through that kind of back knee, back shin, through the front foot. Releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Bringing the right hand to the right hip, left hand up and over, side stretch. Left hand to the left hip, right hand up and over, other side. Ooh. Both hands up to center, coming into a back bend, so just reaching just slightly back and away from you, just watching your lower back here. And then bringing both hands down to the mat. Tucking the back toe under, stepping out to our plank or half plank. Wherever you are, lowering down to the mat, squeezing the elbows in. Slow and controlled, feel that upper body strength. Inhaling into your back bend. Exhaling down, making your way up into your downward facing dog. Breathing here. Stepping forward with our left foot. Other side. Just making sure that left foot is underneath the knee. So just grabbing that ankle and just pulling it forward if you need to. Sweeping the arms up high. Relaxing the shoulders, remember. Strong through the legs. Bring our left hand to our left hip, right arm up and over, side stretch. And then over to the other side. Bringing both arms up, reaching up and back, little mini back bend. And then both hands come down to the mat. Tucking that back toe under, stepping forward to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling all the way up to standing, reaching up to the sky with the hands coming back up onto our tiptoes. Exhaling, hands come out wide. Let's clasp the hands behind our back. Straightening up the arms, looking up to the sky, little back bend. And then releasing the hands, this time just reaching straight back up to the sky, coming up onto our tiptoes. Forward folding, bringing the heels down to the mat, all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. This time we'll step back with our right foot first, coming into our low lunge. Let's keep those back toes tucked under. Reaching up with the hands. Bringing our hands to cactus. So we inhale, let's squeeze the shoulder blades together behind us. Exhale, squeeze the beach ball in front. So really kind of feel a bit of resistance between your arms. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, forward. Inhale back. This time we're going to bring our right elbow on top of our left elbow. And we can either just bring our hands to our shoulders or come into our eagle arms. You can have the backs of the hands together, or if you can wrap our hands all the way around. That's our full eagle arm variation. So wherever we are, pulling the elbows up and away from us. And we're going to power up through that back leg, bringing ourselves up through a high lunge. Let's straighten that front leg, straighten the back leg, melt that back heel down towards the floor. So finding a bit of a balance here. Firming up the thigh on that front leg, keeping those elbows up and away from you. And then slowly bending back into the front knee, lowering the back knee down, unraveling your arms, reaching up to the sky, hands come down to the mat. Take our vinyasa, so stepping out to plank, lowering down through our back bend, and then up into our downward facing dog. Pressing down through the hands, straightening the arms, broadening across the shoulders, letting the head be heavy, hips nice and high. We're going to take a step forward with our right foot this time, So nice big step forward, just shoveling it forward if it doesn't quite reach. Keeping that back toe tucked under, bringing the arms up into our low lunge. Cactus arms. And let's inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, imagine that beach ball in front of you. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, open. This time we're going to bring our left elbow on top of our right. Find our arm variation, wherever that may be. Once we have it, we're going to lift our elbows up and away from us, and then power up through that back leg, bring ourselves up to standing, straighten the front leg, and then melt that back heel down. Breathing here. Strong through that front leg, so firm up the thigh. And then slowly bending into both legs, lowering that back knee down, unraveling the arms. Inhale, reaching up to the ceiling. Exhaling down. Tucking that back toe under and stepping forward into our halfway lift. Folding forward. Inhaling, sweeping all the way up to the sky. Let's come up onto our tiptoes again. Exhaling down, bringing the hands behind us, clasping behind us. Straightening out the arms, if we can, if it's available. Bending into the knees, let's forward fold, bringing the arms up and over. Letting the head hang here, giving the head a little shake from side to side. And then releasing the hands, sweeping down through the floor. We're going to come all the way back up to standing, this time bringing our left leg with us, coming into a bit of a balance. So bringing that knee as high as we can, reaching the hands up to the sky. And then we're going to step that left leg back into our high lunge. So maybe wiggling that back foot back if we need. Bending into the front knee, just finding our lunge alignment first of all. So we're extending through the arms, through the fingertips, relaxing the shoulders down. Pivoting into our warrior two. So back foot comes parallel to the back edge of the mat. Front knee right over the front foot, really opening up the front of the hips here. So squeezing the glutes behind us. Reaching out, arms at shoulder height. Checking your weight's not coming forward. Let's bring our weight back so our torso is over our hips. Reversing the warrior. So right hand comes up and over, left hand just to the small of the back or even resting on the hip. Then into our side angle, right elbow to right thigh, left arm up and over, finding that side stretch again. Back into our reverse. And into the side. One more time, reverse. Into the side angle, maybe coming a little bit lower. Your hand might be able to reach the floor onto a block. If you want to go for the bind, we can maybe bring our right arm under that right thigh, reach our left arm round the back. Or we can just stay in whichever variation we would like this evening. Breathing here, strong through those legs. Okay, releasing the bind if you're in it, and everyone bringing their right arm up kind of parallel with the left, bit of core work here, reaching out, and then straightening up that front leg, bringing the arms pointing up to the ceiling. So strong through the legs here. Bringing our hands into cactus, and again, squeezing our shoulder blades behind us, opening up the chest. And then let's bring our right arm on top of our left, finding our eagle arms again, whichever variation you are having today, and stretching out the back of the shoulders, so pulling those elbows up and away from you, remaining strong through the legs, so really engaging those thighs, pressing down through the feet. Breathing here. Unraveling the arms, let's stretch the arms out wide, bringing the hands all the way behind us, clasping behind us again, bending into the front knee. We're going to come into our humble warrior. So bringing the arms up and over, kind of bowing inside that front knee. Breathing, Strong through the legs. Really pushing into that back foot as well as the front. Strong, straight back leg. And then slowly bringing ourselves up, using that core strength, opening up into our warrior two. And then we're going to cartwheel the left hand down beside the right foot, bringing that left heel up and coming into our twisted lunge. So right arm up to the sky, reaching up through that back heel, strong, straight leg. Good. Right hand comes down to the mat, stepping back with our left foot. Vinyasa. So either full plank or half plank, lowering down to the mat into our cobra or upward dog. And then finding our way to our downward dog. Breathing here. Remembering if you need to rest in child's pose, always an option. Now's the perfect time if you need to take a couple of breaths. And everyone slowly making their way back to the front of the mat, wherever you are. So stepping forward, coming into our halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhaling all the way up to standing. Coming up onto the tiptoes. Exhaling down. Arms come down, outstretch, clasping the hands behind us, maybe clasping the other way if you can. We're going to do all that on the other side. So opening up the chest first of all. Maybe come into a little back bend, looking up towards the sky, if that's okay on your back, or just remain facing forward. Bending into the knees and letting the arms come up and overhead. Bringing ourselves up just a little to release the hands. Hands sweep down across the floor, coming up almost kind of through our squat, then reaching up. This time we're going to bring our right knee up, coming into our balance. Reaching up with the hands, bringing up that knee nice and close. See if you can bring the knee a little higher. And then leap of faith back. Nice big step back with that right leg. Maybe wiggling the back foot back a little, wiggling the front foot forward a little. Finding our high lunge. Pivoting into our warrior two. So that front foot wants to be kind of exactly in line with the middle of our back foot, the arch of the back foot. So if you need to wiggle your feet a little, that's absolutely fine. Just tracking that left knee directly over the left foot. Taking a look at your backhand, making sure it's not dipped, and relaxing the shoulders down. Reverse warrior, left hand comes up and over. Into our side angle, left arm to left thigh, right arm reaching up. We want that right arm to be straight, really pointing out through the fingers. Back through our reverse warrior, keeping a bend in that front knee. Into our side angle. And again, one more. Reverse. Side angle, maybe coming into a deeper version of your side angle, maybe bringing that left hand to the floor, maybe into the bind. Wherever you are, keeping that back leg strong and straight, powering through that front leg, just choosing your variation for this evening. And releasing the bind if you have it. Everyone reaching up our left arm parallel with our right. Strong through the core as we lift ourselves up to standing, straightening up the front leg. And really powering these thighs kind of up towards the hips, so we don't want our legs to be kind of not engaged, really engaging the thighs. So hugging the muscles in towards the bone. Let's bring our hands into our cactus. Open up the chest as we take a nice big inhale. This time we'll bring our left arm on top of our right into our eagle arms. So again, you can just have the hands on the back of the shoulders here, that's fine. But wherever you are, just lifting the elbows up and away. So finding a stretch through the upper back. And releasing the hands. Finding, extending out our arms, clasping our hands back behind us, finding your other clasp if you can, bending into the front knee and bowing inside the front knee, nice and low, humble warrior. Breathing here, relaxing the head down if you can, strong through the feet, strong through the legs. Bringing ourselves back up through our warrior two. So releasing the hands, extending the arms out, then cartwheeling that right hand down to the mat beside the left foot, pivoting on that back foot and reaching the left fingertips up to the sky. Bringing the left hand down, framing the front foot, stepping backwards into our plank, taking our vinyasa, last vinyasa, inhaling into our back bend, exhaling up into our downward facing dog. Last down dog, so really make it a good one. Pushing through the hands, straightening the arms, hips high, really engaging that core. See if we can melt the heels a bit further down towards the mat. Really opening up the backs of the legs. And then bringing the knees down onto the mat, coming into a closed knee child's pose. So keeping the knees and the feet together, resting the head down and bringing the hands down beside you, bringing the arms down beside you. So you're in a tiny little ball. So our shoulders can just fully relax down into the floor. Or kind of heading towards the floor anyway. Fully relaxing here, taking some nice deep breaths, or just letting the breath slowly return to normal. Releasing around the hips, the abdomen, the shoulders, the neck. Okay, when we're ready, just bringing the hands forward just beside the head, lifting ourselves up, and we'll come through to seated. So just bringing our legs out in front of us, feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart. We're going to have our hands directly underneath our shoulders, fingertips facing forwards, so kind of towards your sit bones, but our hands are shoulder distance apart. Might need to wiggle our feet a little further forward. We're going to come up into our reverse tabletop. So we want our arms to be straight. And as we inhale, we're just going to push up through our feet, lifting our hips up. And the idea is that you want your feet directly underneath your knees as you come up. So you might need to wiggle your feet further forward. When we are here, we don't have to hang our head backwards. That can be a little bit sore on the neck. So we can just keep ourselves looking forwards. Just lifting the hips up as high as possible, feeling that stretch around the front of the shoulders. Watching your toes aren't lifting, so really grounding down through your feet. Breathing here. If it's too much, we can just come back down to seated. And then slowly lowering down. Back onto our sit bones. We're going to come straight into our boat pose. So reaching our arms forward. Let's bring our legs up off the floor, squeezing the legs together, finding our Navasana boat pose. Breathing, lengthening through the spine, softening the face, maybe having a bit of a smile. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Curving over your thighs, letting the head just kind of melt down. You can have your hands just resting on the mat or just hugging your thighs, whichever works for you. Okay, bringing ourselves back up, we're going to come through to lying. So finding our kind of outstretched arms again, the curve in the spine, let's lower down nice and slowly. Try and come just inch by inch, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way down to lie on the mat. When we are there, let's bring our knees into our chest. Squeeze the knees in. And then keeping a hold of the right knee, let's just kind of extend the left leg out and away from us as we lower it down. So it doesn't matter if it's straight to begin with. We're just straightening it out and away as we lower down. And we just want to hover that left leg off the mat, pointing the toes away from you as you squeeze that right knee in. Obviously, the lower the left leg comes towards the mat, the harder it is. So maybe try lowering it a little, just so it's literally a couple of centimeters off the mat. Good. And then bringing that left knee back, squeezing both knees. And then holding onto the left knee, squeezing that in as we lengthen that right leg up and away from us, all the way down. So it's hovering as close to the mat as you can. Good. Okay, bringing that right knee back in, taking both knees. Let's have a little rock and roll from side to side. Massaging your back, the lower back, kind of middle back. Taking your knees in circles, maybe taking your knees in circles, going different ways. Just have a little bit of a play around. Good. And then coming back to center. This time we'll extend the left leg out to the mat and let the leg rest on the mat, coming into our twist. So left leg fully extended and resting down. We're going to bring the right knee up and over. At the same time, let's just shift our hips just a couple of inches over to the right hand side as we come over into our twist. And bringing the right arm out beside us at shoulder height. Taking our gaze over towards our right fingertips and just guiding that right knee down with our left hand. Not pushing it, just finding a nice opening through the back, through the hips. Trying to keep both shoulders grounded into the floor. Breathing here, maybe closing down the eyes. Softening on your exhales. When you are ready, bringing yourself back through to center, just bringing that knee up, shifting your hips kind of back in line with your spine, squeezing both knees into the chest, just getting ready for our twist on the other side. So this time extending out the right leg, squeezing the left knee in. And then as we take that left knee over with our right hand, shifting our hips over to the left. And extending out that left arm, turning our head, turning our gaze. If that's okay in your neck, we can always just stay looking up at the ceiling. That's absolutely fine. Slowing the breathing right down, and here it's really using your exhales to soften, and by that we just mean as you release the kind of air in your lungs, your body just naturally kind of softens and gets heavy. So using that little exhale just to release any tension, any tightness, anywhere you might be kind of holding, like gripping a muscle. It's really releasing down. When you are ready, bringing everything back up to center, realigning our hips and getting ready for our bridge pose. So that's bringing our feet hip distance apart, knees hip distance apart, bringing our feet nice and close to our sit bones. So you might almost be able to reach your feet with your hands. And actually, if you kind of pull your hands kind of down and away from you, that helps to release the shoulders away from the ears. So palms of the hands resting on the floor. And let's just find our pelvic tilt first. So we literally just want to tilt our pelvis up towards the ceiling, and you might just feel your tailbone and the very lower part, kind of your sacrum, lifting up off the floor. So you're really kind of using your lower core like muscles to lift the pelvis up off the floor. It's really important to get that pelvic tilt rather than just lifting the whole back up off the floor, because this is what's going to loosen the lower part of our spine. Okay, so tilting our pelvis up, and then slowly then we can peel up the rest of our spine. So taking it inch by inch, vertebra by vertebra, lifting the hips nice and high. So finding a nice stretch through the front of the legs, the front of the hips, the front of the body, up onto your shoulders, breathing here. And then slowly, slowly lowering down as slow as you can. Really mindfully trying to feel each little part of your back coming back down onto the mat, all the way down to your hips. We're going to do that maybe 2 or 3 more times, but just take it in your own time. So try and go as slow as you can for your body. Just breathing through it, breathing steadily. Pausing at the top for however long is good for you. So you might want to build up a little bit of strength and pause for a bit longer, or maybe just work on the spinal, this kind of spinal flexion, the spinal movement. So maybe taking a few shorter rounds. Slowing it right down for the last couple of rounds. And then next time your hips meet the mat, resting them down, we will make our way into our Shavasana. So when you are ready, just extending out your legs, nice and wide, feet just flopping out to the side. I would say put on any layers to make yourself cozy, but well, it's pretty hot, so you might not need to. But if you want to get a blanket or anything, or socks, then please do so. Bringing the arms nice and wide, and as we do so, just kind of nestling the shoulders in towards each other on your back. So just slightly bringing the shoulder blades closer together, so your shoulder blades can rest flat on the floor, and that might bring your arms out a little bit wider. Letting the hands rest, let the fingers naturally curl, and just bringing the chin slightly down towards the chest so we can find a length through the back of our neck. And letting everything soften, everything release down into the floor, into the mat. Softening around the face, quietening the eyes. Just noticing how your body is feeling now, any tingles, any sensations. Letting everything fully relax. This is our time to thank our bodies, to thank ourselves for coming to practice. A well-deserved rest and relaxation at the end. Letting your legs be really heavy. Just releasing any tension around your thigh muscles, your calf muscles, your feet, maybe giving your toes a little wiggle, and then just letting them rest. Letting your hips be heavy. The front of your hips, the side, the back. Releasing any tension around your abdomen, your belly, your lower back. Letting that whole kind of hip area fully release down into the floor. Releasing your back, the muscles up your spine, into your shoulder blades. Just letting the weight of your front body sink into the back body and feel it all fully supported. Releasing around the shoulders, all the way down the arms into the hands. Maybe giving your fingers a little wiggle and letting them rest. And then moving up to our head. Releasing our neck muscles, all these muscles around the top of the shoulder. Softening all the way through the scalp, into the forehead, releasing any tension around the forehead, the eyes, especially between the eyes. Fully relaxing all of that area. Letting our jaw relax, which might mean our lips are slightly open. And relaxing our tongue. And then just noticing if there's been any tension that's crept up anywhere else in the body. And releasing it. And now we're going to start to just wiggle our fingers and toes slightly. Let's take a nice deep breath in. And fully out, sighing the breath out. Bringing the movement into our hands and feet. And then making our way into our pencil stretch. Reaching up and away with our hands, pointing our feet. And then bringing ourselves into our ball, knees into the chest, or just bending the knees up is fine. And then rolling onto the side. Bringing our arm underneath our head for our little pillow. And taking maybe 2 or 3 full breaths here. Again, maybe sighing out the exhales, letting it all go. When we are ready, pushing up through that top hand, using the other hand to help us up, coming back into our seated position, closing down the eyes when we get there, resting the hands in the lap, sitting up nice and tall, reaching up with the crown of the head, bringing the chin just slightly down towards the chest. Take a nice big inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears and melting them back and down, bringing the hands together into our prayer position, opening up the eyes when you are ready. Namaste.